Welcome back to another episode of Progress Mindset Podcast. We hope you guys are doing well today. I'm your host, Afia, and I'm with my co host, Franz, as usual. And we're here with another different episode, right, Franz? Very
Oh yeah.
different, right? We're going to pivot a little bit.
Hmm.
We're going to get a little bit more personal because when it comes to growth and personal development, like we do here on this channel, we have to talk about growing and develop in all areas of your life. So today we're going to talk about relationships, right? All
Oh
about
wow.
relationships, the things we do in relationships, the importance of, choosing a partner and dealing with your traumas and really recognizing patterns. That's important. So let's get into it. Franz, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, shoot.
Do you believe that people bring their traumas into their relationships?
Yes, most definitely. I believe in some cases people do come in with their baggage. You know,
So what
come
about
in with
somebody that's never had a relationship before? Do you still believe that they bring some type of trauma?
yeah, because it's
Okay.
not because the trauma or the issues that you might carry on to the relationship is not only from other relationship or just from being hurt from another partner. It
Mm-hmm.
could be from childhood. It could be something that happened to you a long time ago in your even in your household. It's how you was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you was you come from any type of abusive background where where you was being treated unfairly or things just happen. So there's many things um that can affect you to make you act a certain way or start showing that type of face in a relationship.
Okay. I really bring that up because I've just been seeing a lot of like patterns on social media of these quote unquote, relationship goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just really gets you to think. And when you speak to different friends and you just notice your own patterns in your behaviors, sometimes we get with people, right? Even if it is a new relationship, if you trace all your relationships back to when you first dated, your first attraction,
Mm-hmm.
it says like a lot about you and your choices, right?
Right.
Because even when I think about like my first boyfriend and just the choices that I made repeatedly since then, it kind of sometimes make you reflect like what makes you attracted to those type of guys, whether it's good or bad, and what initially can you think that it stems from,
Mm-hmm.
like what past behaviors and what past maybe even insecurities. Maybe it's not things that you saw, but just like sometimes we are insecure and then we start dealing with someone who we feel that may not have been attracted to us. So when we find out they're attracted to us, it fuels that inner insecurity in you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very important for people to look at their partners, because even if you have a good relationship or a bad relationship, if you have a good relationship, congratulations, because now you can take that, teach your kids and teach others, because everyone's looking for that blueprint, right? But
Mm-hmm.
but particularly in bad relationships, um where does that stem from? What things are leading to you to deal repeatedly with the same kind of person?
um Another thing too, I think a lot of people come into relationships in the beginning, and it's not, people don't show their true emotion, and they don't show their true self.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sometimes not until later that you actually learn um about the person that you with. That's why it's good to,
But why do you think that is, though?
because because people, not everybody is because sometimes folks are a little bit timid to show their the real person that they are, like from the within. It takes time to come out and actually behave as the person that you are when you by yourself or when you're with people that know you. Because when you get into a relationship, most people are just trying to impress that other person, just trying to like just trying to win their love, whatever the case may be. But that's just, in most cases, it's just typical human being. That's just typical human behavior. When you first meet somebody, they don't just come out and then just start telling you everything about themselves, or just start behaving exactly how they're supposed to. Some people do, you know what I mean? And the ones that do, more, more power to you. That's the best way to go about it. But in most cases, that's why you have to give people time. Like if you get into a relationship, you shouldn't really be rushing things. You should give it time to develop. Give yourself time to learn as much as you can about that other person, especially if you planning on spending, like, you know, either the rest of your life with that person, or you really want to take it that extra mile
But
and
what's
you're really
what's
serious.
what's slow in taking it and getting to know? What is your definition or timeline of that?
I mean, it's different for everybody, but like I would say, I mean, a couple of years if you serious.
A
And if
couple of years.
no, if I'm saying, if you're in a like if you're in a relationship before you can take it to the next step, or you wanna, I'm not talking about a little petty, like you were saying, like your first boyfriend, little things like that. I'm not speaking from that perspective. I'm speaking of a real relationship perspective. Like if you in a serious relationship to the point where you see that you eventually will, propose or get married to that person. But I feel like before you make certain moves, you should give it some serious thoughts. Um, like, cause I don't think you can fully get to know somebody unless they're that blunt, unless um they that honest and just tell you exactly how they are. Some people put it on the line, like be
Mm-hmm.
like, this is how I am, this is what make me upset, this is what I'm working on, and can you accept me for who I am? Most folks would rather someone come out like that, but we live in a reality, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in the world that we live in is not always that honest. So sometimes you're gonna have to, as you grow together, you're gonna have to give each other time to learn. And, when I say years, like it could be a year, it could be 2 years, or it could be a good solid 10 months. Who knows? But it's good to give people time for you
Mm-hmm.
to learn about them. But because when relationships are fresh, everybody's like, you put up with anything. Like people put up with things. You could step over that person, they won't say anything. But
Mm-hmm.
the minute that they really you starting to get to know them, and then they relax, and then they kind of fall back and don't have their postures up. Now their arms is down. Like they're fully comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with you. Any little thing you say might just piss them off. You like, whoa, 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 whoa. Where did that come from? That sometimes that was always there. It's just that person just had a hole in themselves. They just know how to like handle themselves. They know how to hold back
Mm-hmm.
and not just let loose. Um, but a lot of people are like that. I just feel like in relationships, or whatever it is you're doing, you have to give it time. It's just like a job. You go to a job, you don't just walk into the job and just start like acting, you know crazy, or you know everything, or you just start putting your foot on the desk
Mm.
on your first few days.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta loosen up, get to know the place, walk around, get to know the people. It's just like it's the same way with everything. Like you have to give it time for it to develop. You have to give it time for it to grow, for you to adjust, for you to see what's going on, and how the people are, how the person is, how um you know does your attitude and does your spirit goes with that person. When they do start showing their true colors, can you put up with whatever baggage that they bring
Mm-hmm.
into your space? All that stuff gotta come into talk, and it takes time.
Hmm.
What do you think?
No, it's just interesting to just hear like that man's perspective, because women, we're always like, time. You got 2 years. you
Ye-
know, I mean, and like I just feel like you're always continually getting to know each other,
yeah.
like
the-
forever. So it doesn't matter if there's a time limit or not. We're always evolving, right? Always evolving, always getting to know yourself. So I do believe people change in relationships as they get comfortable, but I think we also always change as people as we grow.
yeah, we change as people for the better, but like we were saying before, you do have people that bring baggage into the relationship, but they don't always unpack right away. Sometimes it takes them a while to unpack those baggage. That's when you be like, whoa, when did that happen? Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
3 4 years ago. What do you mean? Like, why didn't you tell me? Well,
Yeah.
I didn't want to scare you away. It was too early. I didn't feel comfortable. Now that I'm comfortable with you, I can express myself. Those are the type of things I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, you're gonna change because maybe you guys met when you was young, or whatever the case may be. People grow in all different levels of their life, all different
Mm-hmm.
age. It doesn't matter. I'm growing. Look, we all growing. But me, when I say that you grow to better yourself, but you do have stuff within you that's always gonna be with you. You have That's what attracted that person to you. That's what attracted you to that other individual, is those things that you have. But the thing is, most the question is to ask is, those things that you bring into the table, is that real? Is that really you? Are you just telling me that just to impress me, or are you just telling
Mm-hmm.
me that because you're just trying to get with me?
Mm.
So those are the questions you got to ask yourself. Because everyone, when you like somebody, of course you're gonna try to put in your best your best foot forward. You're gonna try to impress that person. By impressing that person, you can't act like a clown.
Yeah.
So of course you have to be at your best. So it's not everyone that come through with their best and that's really their best. Sometimes they might just probably just put it on a fake just to try to impress you and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But that's why you gotta give yourself time. You got to give each other time to see. That's I'm talking about, like, for a relationship. If
Mm-hmm.
people just hooking up and stuff, like that's a different story. You're not really gonna get to know that person. You know, so that's different. I'm talking about, like, taking that extra step if you serious, because once you um give that person that time, those months, those years of you, that's them taking something away from you and you taking something away from them. They could have been doing something else. They could have been with a different person that was probably serious about them, but then they decided to give you a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are together, you taking space.
Mm. That's true.
So yeah, so if somebody's gonna use your time, and your time is the most valuable thing, one of the most valuable things that you have. So you should cherish your time. You should take your time seriously. Don't be like, oh yeah, the years are gonna go by anyway, so I might as well just be with somebody. If they don't treat me right, eventually I will find someone. Then you might as well just be by yourself.
So do you think that
Just
men do
figure it
that?
out. Uh-huh.
Do you think that men do that?
Men do what exactly?
Like waste their time with someone just because, they're either putting up with their crap or they don't want to be alone or
I'm sure
cuz
some
I feel
people.
like they do.
I'm sure people just sometimes be in relationship just because they don't want to be alone. A lot of folks are just some people are just are afraid to be by themselves. They don't like being alone, you know. But of course, like some people probably do it, put up with things just because they sometimes they put up with things because they 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 think that individual is gonna change. Like maybe they'll wake up tomorrow and and start acting like the person that they met, or you know
Mhm.
or start being a better person, start being a, a sweeter person to them because they stay nice to that person, because it's not always equal, and from it's not always equal from both ends. Some because just because I'm good to you doesn't mean that you're gonna return the favor, because if it's not within your heart, and if the person doesn't really care for you like that, they're not gonna give you the same love that you give them. So, and you can't expect somebody to just wake up the next morning and just start acting different and start changing and start being a totally different person, because it doesn't happen like that. The only way it can happen is by them working on themselves, you know,
Mhm.
unless they really wake up the next day and be like, you know what, I'm gonna work on myself and I'm just gonna treat you different. It's gonna treat you the way you should be treated. How often does that happen?
Hmm.
So yeah,
But
um,
so right, if you really just going back to what we said, do you see when you think about all your past relationships, whatever, do you see a pattern between your choices, or do you see like you also see like things you're attracted to? Is it things that you've seen that you were when you were growing up, or
yeah, you do see a pattern, with I think when you younger, you don't really think about it,
mm-hmm.
because you like, oh, do you have a type, or do you have a certain girl that you like, and you be like, no. But as you go along and as you start getting a little bit older, or you get into a serious relationship or whatever, sometimes you tend to make similar decisions, like people that's like that have the similar attitudes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what attract you. And yeah, I believe so there's like a pattern. And also, um you you probably realize that the women, or if you're a woman, the guy that you pick, maybe he have some similarities to someone that is very important to you. It could be your dad or your uncle, or
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. If you're a man and you're choosing a woman, you probably pick a girl that's maybe like sweet, like a wonderful person, like your maybe like your mom, your aunt, your sisters, someone like that. So sometimes this is relatable. It relates to the individuals that was in your past life, or not past life, in your from the past,
Mm-hmm.
like your family members or whatever the case may be. I do think that you people do have a pattern of, and sometimes you repeat the same thing. Like you might sometimes you could be, maybe there's certain girls that you like, and then and she just have a little bit of funk to her, and then vice versa. Let's say you go and try to talk to someone else that's like more quiet, and doesn't have nothing doesn't have nothing to do with, no similarities to the other person that you had that had a little bit of funk. Maybe you might not like the new girl or the new person that you met as much, because they don't make you feel the same way because people do have preference.
So the girl with the funk is what?
Maybe that's what you attracted to. And sometimes people try to like, maybe you might try to force yourself to, to try to be with somebody that's more calm.
Mm-hmm.
But what you was the affection that you was getting from the girl that had a little bit of funk, you don't get it from that
But wouldn't it
person
be
that's a little more
worse?
calm.
Wouldn't the person that's nice have the qualities that make you feel comfortable?
Yeah, it is, but it's to play like good and bad guy. you Some people rather a bad girl, or some, you could speak for the ladies, you know
I
like
mean, I guess if like you like
I'm
of
not
course from a woman's point of view, I'm gonna be like, oh, why would you want a good girl when you gotta, you know? But I guess I could see that, right? Because for us women, we have a guy, he'll send you the good morning text, right?
Mhm.
He'll send you flowers. He's attentive to your needs and things like that. And for some reason, we want the guy that's not doing any of those.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying.
And it's like, why? Why are we attracted to that? Is it because it feeds the thing inside of you that's like, all right, well, um, let me see if I could change them, you know? Let me see if I could be the one that breaks them down.
Right.
Like what is that fills that need? From a guy's point of view, because I can tell you from a woman's point of view, it's like that guy, he may be very nice, he may be all the things that we want, but if he doesn't make you feel like you're going to be protected with him, you're not going to want to be with him,
Right.
right? Because nobody wants a simp. Nobody wants to be walking in the street, some guy bump into you, and your guy is going to be like, that's okay, honey, it's all right, things happen. You want to feel that, he's going to stand his ground.
Right.
So
Right. But um, well, you might live longer with that guy.
that's true. I mean, that's stand his ground and ignorant. Like he gonna pull the 40 out.
It depends on because there's a way of approaching things.
Yeah, he's gonna stand his ground in a way that he doesn't have to yell. He doesn't have to show his behind. He just
That's
gets that respect.
that's fine. That's
Not so
having that
he's not
streets.
gonna egg it. He's gonna be like, wait for me. Put some money in my books. No, not like that.
No.
But you want to feel that oomph, that manly oomph.
Yeah.
So that's how I know why, because sometimes they be like, why are you attracted to bad boys? I think that's it because they exude that energy that they got you. Like everyone wants to feel like, oh, I'm with a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but what is it about with men? Because men are always saying they want to be treated like a man. They want to feel that they're wanted and needed, and so most of the time, it's the good girls that's giving you that, right?
Yeah, I don't have. I like good girls.
But what attracts the guys to be like, oh, like you said, the girls with the funk? Are they
Well, a little.
more
Sometimes a little.
exciting? Are the good girls boring? Because good girls be turning up too.
When I mean a little funk, doesn't necessarily mean that she's a bad girl, like a Tariari.
Oh god, that just sounds so aged.
I'm not talking about a girl like that. I'm more like, you know, everybody have something, you know, to them that just, signify them, that make them a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I mean a funks, everybody has, that's what probably attracted you to that person. Maybe it's just like the way she looks, or maybe her gestures. I don't know. But I know that every every person have their own things that just make them attractive, or that makes them the one for you.
Mm.
So when I mean like a funk, it doesn't necessarily have. She doesn't necessarily have to be a bad girl without all the other qualities. It could be a little funk with some great qualities, because everyone have a little things that you probably gonna have to be like, it's not the best, but I can deal with it. We can work on it. So that's better than someone being fake, and then we're to the point where you're gonna have to find out later that they do have a major funky attitude, and then now you stuck trying to see how you can get your hands around that. So if someone just comes straight forward with their true self, but they do have little things that they need to work on. Because if someone is a little funky, have a little bit of an attitude, you can work on that. You can
Mm.
work on that. Even it would be similar to a guy. If a guy is have some ways maybe he need to brushing up a little bit, work on himself, especially, it depends on what age we are. As us male tend to need a little bit more time to catch up.
Mm.
So so you have to bear with us. So it doesn't
Mm.
necessarily mean that every guy that's
So we have to raise y'all in addition to your mamas.
well, no, you guys shouldn't have to. You should just do. You don't have to deal with that. It's not every guy that's like that. Some guys, a lot of us are matured at a young age. Maybe we don't have it all together, but you could see the sparks, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could see the sparks. That's what's when you looking for somebody. When you look, you have to look at the qualities. You have to talk to that person, get to know them, and try to dig in and see what they're about. That's why you have conversation and you have a real conversation. That's just to help you know the person that's probably not here yet, but that's coming.
Mm.
Like I'm not here yet, but I'm around the block. I'm coming, baby. So
I guess.
yeah, I mean a lot of us are like that. We have dreams. A lot of those dreams have not been accomplished yet. But if the person, you got to have the dream before you have that success. So they have goals and dreams. That mean it's a good thing. It's a plus. But then don't be fooled either. Some people just can fill your head up with just a whole bunch of talk. You got to see action too. If you're willing to work with somebody and you see that they have a lot that they need to work on, yeah, hear them out. But they also got to show you that they willing to work on themselves, that they're making movement. They're not just saying stuff just to say it, just to shut you up or just to please you. But
Mm-hmm.
then you don't see no action. So yeah, I mean, all that stuff. So it's a lot, because nobody's perfect. We all have a little funk to us. So I'm not. I don't really judge people like that, based on a little bit of attitude and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can work on that, because a lot of us we have we act a certain way, and we have our ways because of a reason. Maybe it's something that you went through your entire life. Maybe you wasn't treated fairly. Maybe you still going through some things. You don't know what people are going through, so you can't just expect them to be all exactly how you want them to be, because nobody's perfect. If somebody was perfect, they'll probably be boring. That's the thing. Yeah, if I'm perfect, like, okay, then I'm just gonna be a yes, 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 ma'am, yes, sir, type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody want that either. They want someone that can stand up for themselves, that can speak when they need to speak. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, we all have our flaws. We are not perfect, but it doesn't mean that you have to be a fool, and just do things just to do it, just to hurt people and stuff like that. No, just because you have flaws, it doesn't mean that you can't be a nice person.
So what do you think about these relationship goals that they have all through social media and this whole thing? Because I think it's just crap. People are not gonna post, oh, me and my man, we just had an argument, he beat me. But they're gonna pretend like, oh, we just went on a trip. Oh, me and Bay.
Oh.
And it's just so sad because again, like a lot of, you know, communities,
Mm-hmm.
specifically minority communities, we don't have that example, right?
All
So
right.
now they're looking to social media as couple goals.
Mm.
And I think it's just kind of sad because these are their role models. I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm not in that generation. Thank God.
Mm.
But this is their couple goals. These are their relationship goals. They're living their life, everything through social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Body goals, everything is all seen through the eyes of social media.
Mm. Well, I'm not against people, showing their affection, showing their love and stuff. But at the same time, I don't feel like you should be like recording every little thing,
Mm-hmm.
about your relationship. Um, and for those that's taking, whether it's advice or that's just watching and try to be like the other individuals that they're seeing on whatever platforms, you also got to be careful too, because the grass always look greener on the other side, and people put a lot of people. I'm not gonna say all, but a lot of folks put on a front, when they're in front of the camera, or when they're at a certain party. And it's funny, like it wasn't too long ago that I went to an event. You could see like how sometimes people are in their own personal space just making their little videos. When now I'm like, damn, this is what it is now.
Yeah.
This is what it's about now. Like,
Everything is recording, everything is on Snapchat, and as soon as they're done recording, nobody's talking to each other.
yeah. So
Oh my God, it's so crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. So you gotta be careful who you who you choose to follow as your I would say relationship mentor.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, you think it's a lituation and it's really for the gram. They really just posted that picture so that they could act like they outside, but they really
Right.
just bored sitting down.
I would say, man, just try to keep it as real as you can. Like you don't need to expose everything about your relationship, because not everyone is want to see you happy,
Mm-hmm.
and like if you're trying to build something real, I would say just
Keep it
keep some.
off social media.
Yeah, keep it off social media. If you want to share certain
I
things,
mean,
you want
some
to
people
share.
it works, but
Yeah, you could share your love. I'm saying, like, I'm not against that. You could share your good times, but it don't have to be everything. Bay's in the shower, Bay's cooking, Bay's eating breakfast, Bay's going out the door, this and that, whatever the
they
case may
put his
be.
shoes on. They took it off.
Yeah, you gotta give the person give them their space. Like because that goes back to the beginning of a lot of relationship. Of course, in the beginning, it might be like that, where you want to share everything. You guys feel like you floating on clouds.
Mm.
That's the high point of the relationship, and eventually you're gonna start coming down just like a parachute.
Mm-hmm.
You go from high to low. It's not always gonna be at that. You're not always gonna be at that happy space. You're gonna go through things where you're gonna have to work. Where you're gonna have to work on it, and are you gonna be working on those things and posting them as well, or you just gonna post just the good times? Because if you're gonna be real and just be a role model where you're gonna teach others about relationship and how things are so sweet and how it's going, you also gotta show them, the tough times too.
Mm-hmm.
Which you're probably not gonna see a whole lot of that.
Yeah, they just cussed me out.
Yeah, but you just it's all up to you, but you choose. I would say when it comes to you and your loved ones, you should try to protect that. Yes, be proud of your relationship. Yes, you can expose and post pictures, do your little videos and stuff like that, but just do it. If you are doing it, do it for the right reason. Don't just do it just because you want to show off and you want to make other people jealous. and bad vibes and bad energy is will can get to you, can get
Mm-hmm.
to your little foundation that you're trying to build. So just be careful, just be mindful of what you're doing and stuff. Just knowing that, especially if you have like a large group of followers and you have younger kids following you and stuff like that, you want to set the right example. You want to, like, if you are doing something, you want to make sure that it's real. You want to make sure that you are really in it to teach,
Yeah.
to show, and to help people grow, and just out there doing things. So I would say I'm not a big believer in that. Just following other people, thinking that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I see something, I always be like, "Oh no, I gotta evaluate the situation." It's not always as it's seen. If you are, then I'm more than happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not the type of to say, "Oh, I have to do this because this person is doing that." Oh my God, they just went on vacation. I gotta do it. Yeah, if you can afford it, you can go there and have fun. I'm more than happy for you. But it doesn't mean that I'm gonna envy you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what do you say to people who are like experiencing trauma and the same pattern behavior with their partners? For me, I just think like again, some people again they just feed off the idea of they just need love, they need somebody, but I feel like your single season is really when you come up.
Oh
Because
yeah.
a lot of people they think that they could just you are supposed to win in relationships. You are supposed to elevate in relationships. But they want to wait to find that person to say, okay, then I'm gonna get my dream job. No, then it's gonna be even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're in a relationship, you're supposed to have time for it to grow, not say I'm gonna try to be my best self when I'm in a relationship.
Right.
I personally believe that if you are looking for a wife, you gotta come as a husband.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be like, oh, you made me into the man I am today. No, you have to come as the man that you want to be treated as. And, same thing as a woman. You can't just be like, I'm looking for a husband and you're not a wife.
Right.
So when you date and you're dating for intentions, you got to come with these thoughts already. You have to treat yourself as if you're in that situation. And I think
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes as women, we kind of tend to just forget who we are. You kind of come as a wife, and then you meet someone that's clearly not a husband, but we feel like we can mold them.
Hmm.
We feel like we can change them. We feel like we could take on the challenge and be the fixer-upper. But then you realize why you're making the same mistakes. And
Uh,
vice versa for a man. You can't show up what you're expecting and then not and take less than what you
right.
deserve. So I think that's important. You gotta really evaluate. If you're in the same situation, dealing with the same people, having the same outcome, I think it's just a sign.
Yep.
I think it's
No,
a
I
sign.
I couldn't agree more. And it's not your responsibility to raise anybody. Especially, you planning on having your own family to raise, your own kids.
Mhm.
So your job is not to raise anybody's kids. As far I'm speaking of an adult,
Yeah.
like you having a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Yes, it's not your job. So if you're a woman and you with a man, he should, and you plan on getting into a relationship, that person should come in full. I understand you support each other, but it's really not up to you to make that person. They should speak with their maker, which is God,
Mhm.
and fix themselves.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So because you have yourself to build, you have yourself to work on. You have your own priorities, you have your own stress. So you taking on somebody else's battle is too much. It's too much. Your responsibility is to fix yourself and help others. You know, like, yeah, you help others, but if you looking for a partner, that person should come with a lot of integrity, a lot of things that you looking for within a mate, and you shouldn't have to be the one to spend years constructing them. There's nothing wrong with helping somebody. If somebody is is with you, and let's say they have some goals and stuff, that they need help with. They need to learn how to set their goals on, winning in life. And then that's a little bit different, like if they're already doing things that's positive, and then they're already on a good track, and they just need a little guidance. They just need to talk to you when then, while you guys are in a relationship. That's different. You guys can help each other with with your goals. Maybe it's relationship goals, maybe it's a business goal, whatever the case may be. That's a little bit different.
Mm.
But if the person don't have nothing to offer, and you just feel like, oh, I can see it in them, so I'm gonna do my best to stay with them and help them through their hard time. So um when they do um become successful and have the accomplishment, they will remember that, and they will be very appreciative. Yeah, it doesn't always happen like that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Sometimes I assume the person get themselves together. Now they they smarter. They able to make better decisions. They more sharp. Now they be like, you know what? Maybe I need better. Maybe you're not the type. Maybe you're not the right person for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get somebody that's like on my level. Like, things like that, which is wrong, but it happens. We see it happen to athletes all the time. Oh, this was my high school sweetheart. We was together for years, but I made it in the lead and stuff like that. I realized she's not the one for me. She's not on my level. Like, I want somebody that's like more, whatever it is, that have more to offer. But that person stuck with you. But that's just the way it is. Just gotta be careful, and you have to keep your eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your eyes open, and just don't don't always aim with your heart. You got to use your brain too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's funny today. Me and a customer was just yesterday. Me and a customer was talking about this. He was like, "Yo, it's funny um, that we don't pick, like, our brain doesn't pick our team, like our football teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's all our heart." Because I was talking about the team that I love for years, and then they're terrible. She was like, "Oh yes, me too." I'm like, "Man, it's crazy how it's." I was like, "It's crazy how our heart is attracted to things that will hurt us."
Mm.
She was like, "Yeah, you're absolutely right." Because I'm like, "Man, look at the team that my heart picked." I said, "If I was picking with my brain, that's not the team that I would pick." But once your heart settle on something, sometimes it's so hard for you to make a U-turn, because it's always gonna be there,
Yeah.
unless you really, 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 really work on it. So it's the same way as you really, really falling for somebody, like you allowing yourself to fall for someone. And if you are gonna do that, you got to make sure that you both are on the right page, and you study that person, you get to know them, you talk, because communication is the key. You know, that's why we have mouths, and that's why we have two ears. It's to talk and listen, and make sure it register, and to have important conversations, and stop having conversation, texting each other, and not having just, you got to sit down. You got to talk to each other.
Mhm.
Like listen to the person while the while the words are coming out. It's more real. It's more realistic when you hearing it like that than somebody just sitting there thinking, writing a text to you. Something
Mhm.
that's fine. That's fine sometimes, but if you're gonna grow together, you're gonna have to learn how to speak with each other. If you plan on being with that person for the rest of your life, you might as well just start working on that
Mhm.
because that's very important. You need to talk. You need to have a relationship where you guys really sit down and talk about stuff. You have to be willing to. In the future, you're gonna have to make plans together. Who knows? You probably have to get properties together. You're probably gonna have to get whatever it is. So in order to do those things, you have to compromise. You have to talk. It's not always gonna be um, nice and sweet. Not all conversations are popular, but you have to have them. The
Mhm.
tough ones are the tough conversations are the ones that 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 built you guys. It's the one that's gonna make you to the couple that you wish to be.
Yeah.
Not just the sweet conversations. I love you, holding hand, kissy kissy,
Yeah,
and
you hang up. No, you
yeah, not just yeah, not just those. You gotta have the ones where you be like, I need you to listen to me. I'm always listening to you. You need to hear me too. Little stuff like that. Like, do you pay attention? When I talk, do you even listen, or you just saying yeah, 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 yeah? Yeah,
don't. Mhm.
you need to like challenge each other and just get to know one another. That's why I said the time is important because those things you're not gonna. There's no way you can accomplish all that in a short period of time because those subjects are not gonna come up. Like today, we might have a conversation about something, and that's just what happened today. But tomorrow, next year, in the year to come, there's gonna be so much more things that happen. So much more things that's gonna show who you are, what you about, what you stand for, and the type of person that you are. So how can you learn all that stuff in one day?
Mhm.
Life is a book, and that's a book you can't read in one day. That's a book you're gonna read for the rest of your life. Like Afia said, you will always learn. You're always growing. You're always changing. But like we said, a lot of people comes with stuff that's already within them, the good qualities and the bad qualities.
Mhm.
You gotta look. You gotta search through those things. And like we said, not everybody's perfect. We all have our flaws, but somebody got to be able to make you feel more good than bad. The good have to outweigh the bad. You
Yeah.
can't you can't make me sad all the time. 50%. You can't make me feel sad 75% of the time. And then there just a little bit rest is the good time. That's not good enough. That is not good enough. You need to be with someone that's gonna make you happy
Mhm.
majority of the time. It ain't gonna be all the time, y'all.
Definitely not. But not like unhappy to the point that you feel like unworthy. You feel, they don't make you feel good. Just regular general disagreements.
Yeah,
It's normal.
it ain't normal. And
No.
and like you were saying before, don't be afraid like to be alone, to work on yourself and to get into something when you're ready.
Mhm.
Just don't let people pressure you. Don't let people force you to make decisions before you're ready. Even when it comes to like you moving on to the next step, if somebody's proposing to you, you know, asking you to handle marriage. If you're not ready, you're not ready. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's your decision. Don't make. I know that's a deeper topic, but just don't make decisions just to please others. You gotta think of yourself too, because you're not just living. You're not living to please other people. You really living to please God, but you also in the mix as well. when it comes to your feelings and stuff like that. So you looking to make sure that you are okay. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't be walking around with a heavy heart and all mad and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to get deeper, but that's what it is. You have to be, yep, get into things when you are ready. Don't be afraid to be by yourself for a period of time. And when you by yourself, you're not really by yourself. You know, you have friends, you have families, you have God. You know, you have stuff to keep you company. So like being single is not a bad thing. It's a
Mm-hmm.
time, like Afia said, to work on yourself, to build yourself, to see what you want. You have more clarity.
Yep, to go not go into another crappy situation.
Yep. You
Just
know.
really go in and do the work.
Yes.
All right. So I have a quote that came across my phone today that I thought was fitting.
Okay.
It says, "Don't chase what you want, attract what you deserve."
Mm. Nice.
That is something that, can definitely contribute to this conversation as well as your life overall. You
Yes.
don't chase what you want because sometimes what we want, the same thing that you said, our head doesn't choose, right? Or heart, whatever, however it
Mm-hmm.
went. But if you attract what you deserve, you won't have to chase because it's already gonna come to you, baby. That's it.
Oh yeah.
That is it.
Yes. I mean, this is a beautiful topic. I can go all day,
Definitely
but
can.
yeah, because the conversation will continue. 'Cause
Yeah, we'll probably have a little part two, get a more different point of view rather than ourselves.
yes.
But this is just like a little something to scratch the surface of, if you talk about the topic of just developing yourself, you have to develop yourself all around, and that includes relationship with others because who we end up with plays a very big part of who we're gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith just left the chat. I'm just playing.
Yo. No, but you're right.
Ah.
You're right because you know how they say the person that you're around the most,
Mm-hmm.
that plays it's a big reflection of you.
Mm-hmm.
So your partner is definitely will be the reflection of you.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, but just make sure that beautiful thing is a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
not
Share
a
it
mess.
with share it with someone that's gonna make it beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we really did touch on a lot today. Again, we could keep going and going and going. There might be a part two, maybe. We'll see. But as always, like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to add to the conversation, you can leave us a message right here in the podcast or on our Instagram, Private Mindset Podcast. And that's it.
All right.
Later.
Take care, guys. God bless.